Hello kids! I'm Johan Martin from Punch Sector Studios, and a couple of weeks ago I put out a little drum test video where I tried out the Duality kits from Toontrack. And what I did there was I recreated the song Lavender Haze by Viljarta, however you want to call it. And the thing with that album is it was recorded with a drum kit that was kind of unconventional in some aspects where it comes to the drum placement. So if you look here, this is from the actual recording. You can see that he has two floor toms on the left and also the ride on the left, whereas the rest of the kit is kind of normal. So you can't just flip the entire kit and get the same thing, but rather you have to do some trickery with the routing, which you can either do inside Superior Drummer, or you can do it in your DAW. If you use a Contact kit, for example, or any other drum software where you can assign different drums to different outputs. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how I did it in Superior Drummer, where I routed some of the stuff to be on the left side. So first of all, if you want, let's say you want this tom to be on the left side. Now the graphics are of course going to stay the same on the screen, but the actual sound, you want it to be on the left side. The first thing you'll do, which is really simple, is floor tom 2 here. It's pan 60 to the right now, and then we just pan it to the left, and we get it on the other side. Now with toms you can usually get away with just doing this. However, if you want to be super authentic, and especially if you want to do cymbals that you flip to the other side, you'll need to do some other trickery as well. Because if you listen to the overheads here, that floor tom is still on the right side. So we want to change that while keeping the rest of the kit the same. And let's say we also want to move the ride to the other side, like on the album. So what you do first with the tom here, you route instrument microphones and the overhead routing. You can create a new channel here, becomes X overheads, and appears as a new channel here. Let's move that close to the normal overheads, and let's send it to the same overhead output. The thing we do though is that we flip the panning here, so the left side now becomes the right side and vice versa. Now listen to the overheads, it's on the left side. So then we'll just do the same thing with the ride when we want to move that. Route the overhead to the X overhead, then pan the closed channel. This also pans 60, so we'll pan it somewhere approximate there. So now the ride is also on that side. Now you can do this with the rooms as well, of course, although the rooms are usually much more diffuse, so you can't usually hear what side something is. So the room panning isn't as much of an issue, whereas the overheads is very much a complete kit of the entire drum kit, panned from left to right, kind of. So yeah, that's all you have to do with those. Assign them to a separate overhead channel and move them to the other side. You can also do this in your DAW, of course. Just route them to a new output that you can call like overhead flipped or something, and then you might want to add that overhead and the normal overhead channels to a bus where you can treat them as one, so you have the whole kit in the same overhead channel. Let's say we also want to have another floor tom on the left, like on the album, because you see he has one here and then two here. So this is the 16 we want to keep on the right side. The 18 we now have on the left side. Then we want to add the next tom, floor tom from Duality II. We're going to have the 14-inch. Now that's on the wrong side in this case. So just route that to X overheads. Then pan this to the other side. And there we have it. Now, of course, also create a new channel in your DAW as well, so you can have that as a separate tom. Now, the default routing is to the first channel, which I renamed kick in this case, but you'll just have to create another channel to have floor tom 3 or whatever. And that's it. This is great if you want to, do a cover of something where you have a certain kit setup that you want to be authentic to, or if you find, let's say you want 2 ride cymbals, but the kit only has 1 ride position. But in this case, we have 2 different rides. Let's say you want to add this second one, then you can just add that and flip that to the other side, so you have 2 rides they can play between. Or let's say you have an electronic kit where you want to play 1 tom on each side, and that whole stereo tom thing is also very nice when you have like big doom doom things. We can hear it in both sides. And of course, if you want, you can just add, so you have 2 on one side and 1 on the other side, so you can like kind of keep, if you want to have a couple hits on just one side, or if you want the stereo effect that you get from hitting 2 different toms on the different sides. So yeah, now get out there and experiment with your different drum pannings, and feel free to ask me if you have any questions. There are other like routing tricks you can do this way. Let's say if you want a separate kick room or a separate snare rooms and like separate room for everything, for example. So yeah, if you need any help with drum programming or mixing or mastering, head over to punchsectorstudios.com and we'll go from there. Cheers!